Hey, it's been a little minute since um, I recorded, and I have been wanting to record several videos. However, I was struggling with uh, finding the words to relay the messages that were being downloaded, and I was also, oh, excuse me, going through some of my own growth and healing processes and journeys as well. And so this message is one of the last three messages that it's been sitting with me, which lets me know this is something that I definitely need to talk about because it is very, very prevalent and important to the functionality of yourself. And um, I know that, sorry, I know that lately I've been on this healing journey and wanting to share and relay messages and information as to how to help other individuals um, find their way and their journeys, or to give insight to help them to find their way to Christ consciousness, or help them to have insight into self. And I'm very conscientious and aware of like my choice of word because I really don't want to offend people because everybody's not awake or awakening or woke or on the same wavelength or on the same journey or on the same path. So I I do my best to be general when I speak, and I do my best to speak in general tone. However, I know that sometimes it's not always received as such. And so I chose to continue to still make videos because I just feel like this is my journey, this is my message, this is my calling, this is my path. And so um the last thing that I want to do is stagnate myself for the quote unquote concerns or fears of others. Like I don't want to pick up your energy if it, especially because it's not mine, you know what I mean? I want to stay in my own energy and be very impactful. And so this message is going to be titled um the impact of your presence. And so, um, before I begin, I want to dig into the meaning of the words impact and presence. And so I wrote it down because I know I go back and watch my videos sometimes and I see that I jump around because sometimes I'm really just receiving information as I'm talking. And so I was like, I wanted to be a little bit more coherent and I wanted to make sure that I am actually showing up and that my words themselves are actually um, impactful or being impactful. And so I decided to make sure that, when I'm speaking, to speak very clearly and to do my best to stay present in the moment. So the first word, impact. And so I looked it up. And I'm like, okay, let's break that word down. Impact. It's a couple of things going on in that word, right? It's a couple of things going on in that word. I am pack and then it's T. And so I am packed. So like I am PACT. I am packed. And when you break that word down in the meaning of, or the manner of saying it in that way, it is a way of identifying the different parts of the word that resonate deeply because it can be a metaphorical sense, but it's a word within itself because you yourself are impacting, meaning you are causing an actual chain reaction just by showing up and being you. And so I said, I wanted this message to be um, the impact of your presence and understanding who you are. And so I said, let me go and research this word for real. I didn't go deep into the etymology of the word because I just kind of wanted to stay a little surface. I didn't want to go too far left or too far right. I just kind of want to be straightforward. So the definition, there were two for impact. It said action of collision or colliding or coming into connection to an object. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an object, it can be a person, place, or thing. And then the second part of that definition said having a strong effect on someone or something. And so this word has been sitting with me for the last month. I want to say like the end of December, middle or end of December, going early into the beginning of January, the new year, things of that nature. And so, I was just like, how can I spin this message where it will make sense? Right. And I'm like, oh, presence, my presence. My presence is what makes the message itself impactful because it is who I am. The impact of your presence is the essence of who you are and how you show up. But your presence is not profound if you are not in the present moment. Meaning, if you are thinking too far ahead, or if you are constantly in your mind and it's running a million miles a minute, or if you're constantly looking in the rear view, and I'm going to elaborate in a sense to say, if you're always thinking about the future and what could happen and the shoulda, coulda, wouldas of the past and what you could have done, you're missing what can happen right here in the present moment. And so I tell people, excuse me, your power is in the present moment. And you actually showing up for yourself and showing up for those around you in that present moment. You are always right where you are supposed to be when you are supposed to be there. It's a matter of you recognizing that and being cognizant and alert and aware as to why you were placed in that place or that moment or that situation or scenario at the time that you were placed there. I am a strong believer that Earth itself is school. And every experience that you experience while you are here is an opportunity for your soul to learn a lesson, for your spirit to gain enlightenment or to gain knowledge. You being who you are is like pivotal to the function and flow of the connective consciousness. We are all connected, and the connectivity of the quote unquote body of Christ, or in the collective consciousness, or in the collective universal awareness. If we are all one and we come together and we flow, we begin to create a flow state. And your presence, your energy, your acknowledgement of self, and your potential that you can tap into, and your willpower and your determination, and how you choose to show up and be present is impactful, and it can be the spark that alters or changes the scenario. Like it can be the shift in the atmosphere, as some pastors would say. And so I just wanted to record this video because I want people to understand and know that you are special. You are divinely created to be exactly who you are. However, your soul, your spirit, the energy and essence of who you are, you came here. You were graced to come here to learn about yourself, and to learn how to impact, meaning to alter or change the atmosphere. You are here to be the shift in the atmosphere, and you can only be the shift in the atmosphere when you are present, when you show up, when you stand up, when you speak out, when you take charge, when you move in your will, when you trust and the ability, and you trust in the creative process of who you were created to be. Now, it is imperative for you to understand and know you. You are the universe reincarnate in this being, right? My daughter and I were joking because I'm like, we watch Avatar, the Last Airbender, and then Avatar, the actual one with the blue people. And I'm like, think about that movie. That movie, Avatar, the one with the blue people, is extremely profound in the spiritual sense because they kept talking about AY this and AY that, and AY is the life-giving source, and AY is the connection of all. And when you are able to connect to AY, you are connected to everything. And if you really pay attention to that movie and you really digest that movie in a spiritual sense, from a spiritual perspective or a spiritual mindset, you will begin to make sense of what is actually happening right here on this planet. Think about that movie. Like, really think about that movie. The gist of, in the very first movie, there was a guy who was recruited to go to this planet to make a connection to the people of that planet, to figure out their source of energy, their source of power. It was this massive, immense, connective power, this energy that these quote unquote people, the quote unquote humans, wanted to engross and inhabit for themselves. They wanted it for themselves. Greed. What they needed to find a way to survive because they had diminished their planning. That is happening. That has happened. When you think about the planet Nibiru, when you think about Mars and what Mars used to look like and how Mars used to thrive and how Mars was such a beautiful planet. And yeah, people were like, what are you talking about? Mars used to look just like Earth before they diminished the planet's natural resources to the point where as though the planet could no longer thrive. And every living thing that lived on that planet came to Earth. They called them sister planets for a reason. And when those beings came to Earth, they fought with the people that were of the Earth, and they wanted to take over. The people of the Earth that were originally from the Earth was like, look, we understand and see what's going on. We will assist you and help you out. You can come here and we will teach you our ways, and we will help you thrive here, and we will allow you to be in our space, and we will come into connection with you and help you to evolve and help you to do the things that you need to do so that that you can live with us. We can live coherently and cohesively together as a team. And so the people of Earth began to educate the people that came from this planet without knowing that the people that came from Nibiru or Mars, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I know I'm going like way out there, but those people were greedy. It's one thing to come and share in something or to take part in something. It's another thing to come and want to just consume, right? And so they began to get into this intergalactic war, and then the people of Earth were not as advanced as those individuals or beings that came from Nibiru and came from Mars, and they got into this war, and then the war was fought, and the people of Earth lost the war, and there was a treaty that was signed, and there was an agreement that was signed that, look, we will allow you to do X, Y, Z, P to Q for this amount of time. However, after this amount of time, if you're not able to capitulate yourself and get yourself together where you can find another place to call home, then that's it. You got to go. You got to get out. You can't stay here no more. And so, of course, that treaty was for a time period. That time period is up. It's over. And now we're finding ourselves beginning to be again back at war. It's the same thing when you think about that damn movie, right? And you watch the movie, what happens in that movie? They are constantly at war, they are constantly at odds with each other. And I recently just watched the third one with my son, and I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. Like, I'm really watching this. Oh wow, they're really gonna adapt. Oh wow, it's really a hybrid. Okay. It's a hybrid because they were not supposed to come in unison with one another, but they did, right? The blue avatar people were not supposed to actually mate with the actual quote unquote human beings, but they did. And in one of the scenes, the I don't want to give it too much of the movie away, but in one of the scenes, the little dude spider or whatever that was with them, they took him in and they raised him as one of their own. They loved him as one of their own, right? And the mom was like, I ain't with him. I don't like the pink people. I'm sorry. Because she was like, I don't like the pink people. He's like, and the husband was like, well, I am one of them. I used to be one of them. I came just like they came. But I learned about what was going on over here, and I saw what my people were doing, and I saw how my people were not appreciating your tribe and your culture and your world. And I fought against my own people. I went against the grain and recognized that, hold up, let me fall back. You guys are actually onto something and I'm wrong. Let me correct myself. I want to be a part of your tribe. I want to adapt to your way of living. I want to be closer to you all in the sense because you all know what's going on. You got it right. The people I came from got it wrong. And I see that they got it wrong. So let me assist you on the right side. Let me get on the right side of it. Let me be impactful in my presence and let me embrace your way of living. So he made it with he made it with the I don't know why this is funny because and this video is probably like about to be really wild. But I don't even care. I'm just gonna keep going. He made it with her, right? First he said, I want to be like you. I want to be of you. So I surrender my form, my body. I give of my own free will my body as a sacrifice so that my consciousness, my energy can come into this vessel and live amongst you as one of you. And they embraced him and they took him in and he made it with his wife and then they actually had children. And then the second one, they're thriving. They have children now, right? And this is something that should not be possible. It should not happen, but it's happening because Ewa, the source of all power and creation, is saying, yes, come to me. You are welcome in this place. And it makes you think of the whole story of like Jesus when he's talking about none can come to the Father but through me. None can come to source until you come to terms with who you actually are. You cannot move how you're supposed to move until you know who you are and why you were created to be who you are. Once you come to terms with that, you say, you know what, I surrender all. I pick up my cross and I bear it, as they say in the Christian walk of life, or whatever the case may be. Or I lay down my burdens and I carry the life with me, or I choose to walk according to the source power. I choose to walk in righteousness. I choose to walk how God wants me to walk, or how God intended me to walk. I choose to allow the will of the Lord to lead me, to guide me, the Spirit to guide me. And when you begin to understand, your intuition pick up, you wake up, you're like, wait a minute, you see things differently, right? You are aware of things differently. Things make sense differently. And see, I never wanted to speak out because my biggest fear was that I was going to be ostracized. I was going to be poked at. I was going to be teased. I was going to be made to seem like I was crazy or like I was some kind of witch or bruja or some crazy person or like I was out of my mind. I didn't want to have that stigmatism on me because I was a spiritual being, because I can see and hear and smell and taste and shoot things that other people cannot do, right? I was in fear of rejecting my spiritual sense or my spiritual gifts because other people couldn't do it. I wanted to be like everybody else. Like, wait a minute, if I stand out too much, people they're gonna treat me some kind of way. All the while, I still was ostracized. Even when I chose to just chill and fall back and just blend in as best I could, I still stood out like an eyesore and I still endured because people saw something in me that I refused or that I didn't want them to see. They saw me even when I didn't want to be seen, just because of my energy and my presence, the impact of my presence, just by me being naturally, genuinely who I was created to be. I've always been true to myself. From the time I was a little person all the way up until now, I've always been true to me. Now, in terms of being vocal about it, I fell back some because it was just like, yo, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to do, all the while not realizing that me stagnating myself was tarnishing and stagnating the impact, the power, the impact that I could have had my presence really been built in that true confidence and trust of knowing thyself, right? So I want to relay this message because I really want people to understand and know who they are. Do not be afraid because you are different. Do not be afraid because people don't like you. Do not be afraid because people misunderstand you. Do not be afraid because people just don't get it or people just don't want to see you do better than them. Be you. Be you. Always be you. And trust your intuition. Trust what you feel on the inside. Your feelings are never wrong. I don't care what anybody tells you. Your feelings are never wrong. Your ego may be. However, your feelings, when you feel something, it's never wrong. Your feelings are an indication to let you know, hey, pay attention to that. Or, hey, we need this, meaning we ourselves, as in your inner being, your true self. You need this. You need to express this. You need to feel this. You need to understand this. You need to process this, right? You need to dive deeper into this. You need to release this. You need to trust this. You need to discern this. You need to be aware of this. You need to be aware of that. Alert, educated, knowledgeable, right? So it's like you have to take time to sit down with you and have a conversation with yourself. People be like, oh, you crazy for talking to yourself. No, I'm not. How else will I know me? How else will I understand what's going on with me? How else will you understand what's going on with you? A lot of times we tell ourselves lies. A lot of times something will come to us and be like, nah, I ain't about to, nah, let me let that go. No. Pay attention to that thing that pops up when a situation or scenario comes your way, or when a feeling arises. There's a reason that it's arising within you. It's your job to do the work to understand why you are feeling what you are feeling. A lot of times we feel things that don't even belong to us. You ever been frustrated, or upset, or irritated, or agitated, or annoyed, and like, dang, where does this come from? Or you just be in a good space and all of a sudden you just feel like, dang, What is this? Why do I feel bad? Or you wake up and you just feeling some kind of way, just like, yo, why do I feel like this? Where is this energy coming from? Why am I sad? Or why am I emotional? Or why do I feel discombobulated? That's an indication that you know, hey, something's off, something's wrong, something needs to be evaluated. You need to pay attention. And when you pay attention to you, and not necessarily everybody else outside of you and what's going on outside of you, when you really start paying attention to yourself and really start to dig deep within yourself, your impact of your presence is so much more profound. How you show up in spaces is so much more profound. Your energy will speak for you. You don't even have to open your mouth. And I am a true testament of it. Do you know how much stuff has happened or how many people have said or done things to me or about me? I even made a little post. I said, dang, my ears been on fire for the last 2 weeks. I'm like, yo, somebody really talking about me. I said, I don't want to hear what they saying. I don't want to hear it. It ain't for me to hear. If it was meant for me to hear, God would allow me to hear it. I asked God, open my ears that I may hear what I need to hear and close my ears to the things that I don't. Because if you can't even say it to my face or say it to me, it's not relevant. Because your presence is not impactful. Your presence is not renowned. Okay? So I don't want to I choose not to concern myself with things outside of me. If I got something to say to you, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. That's just how I am. Now, I'm learning that it's important to choose your words wisely. Right? And be mindful of who you talking to. Because everybody ain't your friend. Sometimes you have snakes in your grass and you need to chop your grass down so you can see what's really going on. I had my friend tell me today in the car, she's like, yo, she's like, I can rock with you because at least I know if you, I know how you are. At least if I know if you say something, you tell me to my face. Yes, I will. I will. If I'm feeling some kind of way, I might not say it right away. I'm gonna fall back some and let you, go ahead and rock out and figure out what you're doing, friend, because that's your journey. It's not mine. That's your situation. It's not mine. I feel it. But if you're not bold enough to bring it up, let's see how this play out. And when I'm like, all right, wait a minute, it's impacting me. It's connecting to me now. It's making me feel some kind of way to the point where as though it's shifting or giving me an effect that I don't need. Hold, friend, let me check you right there. Let me say what needs to be said. Let my presence and my word be impactful. Let my energy be impactful, right? And so I said before I do this message, I wanted to pull out some scriptures because lately it's been funny because a couple of us have been talking about the Bible, right? And there's been some conversations going on around me, and I'm just like, whoa, okay. What's up? I'm like, I'm not jumping in that conversation because they're not talking directly to me. They're just talking around me. I want to hear what they have to say. You don't always have to open your mouth. Sometimes you just need to just fall back and listen. People will show you who they are just by their choice of word and how they carry themselves and how they act. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't need to be around everything and everybody. And I'm cool with it. I'm okay with that. Right? And so I'm gonna go into the whole thing about the Bible, and then I'm gonna give it to you scriptures, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and end the video because I don't want to go too far too long. Now, we were talking about the Bible. A couple of us were talking about it. It's like the conversation been coming up back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for the last couple of weeks. First conversation I heard, I was listening to people talk about the Bible, and some people was like, I'm over this, and I'm over that, and now this, and now that, now I'm out of my atheist, and I don't believe in this, and I don't believe in this, and I don't believe in that. And the Bible is just a book of parables, and a book of this, and that, and that. Then I heard, for me, I always believe the Bible's basic instructions before leaving earth. Basic instructions before leaving earth. Meaning, anybody and everybody that reads that book, because in essence, I'm going to say it and I might ruffle some feathers, but the Bible is a spell book to a degree. Technically, any book is a spell book, but I digress. I digress. However, the Bible is basic instructions before leaving earth, right? Meaning, when you read that book, who you are and where you are in your journey and your walk of life is how that book is going to impact you. Meaning, you're going to have your own interpretation from that scripture or that word at that time, because that's where it is impacting you. It's going to impact you some way, shape, form, or fashion, wherever you yourself personally need that impact, where you need that shift. That's why, like, some people can read and get their own interpretation, and others can read and get their own interpretation. Now, when you have leaders, and I'll say leaders because I'm referring to, I ain't even gonna say it like that. When you have leaders or shepherds and they share, they can give a message and it can impact a whole crowd or group of people because that message was given to them from source. That means that person is a touched person, a chosen person, a person that is renowned, that is gifted in the sense of being able to speak word. Right? Hold on. I'm sorry. My son knocked on the door. I had to pause for a second. But I want to jump into this. The Bible is basic instructions before leaving earth. So that leader, that guy, that person that relays that message, that gives that information is touched, right? That's a chosen person. That means their gift is in word. Their gift is in speaking. They were chosen. They were a prophet. They're a prophet or prophetess. They were inherently created to be able to relay a message that is so profound, because their impact of their presence is so profound. It is strong enough to be able to be said in a general tone and received by multiple people in the manner and way or place that it needed to be received for that person and their situation. Not everybody is gifted to do that. Not everybody. Now, I'm not going to go any more into that. I'm going to pause there and I'm going to jump into the last two things I said I was going to talk about. And that was the two scriptures that were profound to me and in regards to this message. Okay. First one is Isaiah 41:10. Right. It says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." I'm going to get into that. And the second one was Philippians 2:13. "For it is God who works in you, both to will and to work for his good pleasure." Now, in one of my videos, I said, I am God and God is me, and we are one and the same. If God is omnipresent and God is omnipotent, that means he is in all things and in everyone, and we are our own gods and goddesses of ourselves, to God and govern ourselves, to walk how Christ walked, to live how Christ lived, to speak how Christ spoke, to envelop and embrace the gifts and powers that was given to us, how they were given to Christ. When we choose to take into the spirit and we choose to take into the collective consciousness and we choose to be a part of that divine essence and energy, or we choose to connect into AY, how the little people took their hair and they enveloped their hair and wrapped their hair into the tree, and the tree wrapped hold of it, and they became one, and they became in union with one another. You came into spirit. You came into connection with spirit. You came into connection with yourself. You came into the understanding of yourself, and into the belief of who you are and who you were created to be. And you understood that part of yourself, and you said, okay, if I'm God and God is me and God is in me, and we are one and the same, and I'm moving according to God, how God wants me to do and what God is willing me to do, that means I am listening to me, because I am the God or goddess of me. And it's not to say you are sovereign or over or above the creator of all things. It's to understand and know that you are the creator in your walk of life. You are the leader in your walk of life. You are the one that has willpower, because it even tells us in the scripture that we have willpower. We have the willpower to choose and decide how we want to maneuver or matriculate through our journey, right? If I'm wrong, let me know. If I need to, you know what I'm saying, help me reel it back, right? However, if we are that thing, then what are we afraid of? It says fear not. So if that means fear not, that means do not be afraid of self. Do not be afraid of who you are and what you have the power or capability or ability to do. Do you. And do you to the best of you. And know that when you are doing you, and you are truly, honestly honoring you, and you are truly in alignment with your true purpose as to why you were created, don't you know that your power will be unleashed? That your presence will be impactful? Now, I hope and I pray that this message reaches somebody. I thought about it over the last month. I was like, yo, I don't even know if people really gonna watch my video, or people really gonna understand my video, or people really gonna, I don't even know if they really gonna rock with me. But at this point, I don't even care no more. I'm gonna keep recording. Even if it's only one person that watches my stuff, I'm going to keep recording, because my presence is what's going to make these videos impactful. My message, my word, my trust in myself, my trust in my ability, my trust in who I was created to be, my trust in my word, my trust in my faith, it is going to make this video impactful. And not just this one, but how I show up everywhere in my life. It's time to be obedient. I said to my friend today in the car when we was driving home, I said, yo, I'm tired of us always talking about what we want to do and what we think we could do or what we should do. Why are we not doing it? I'm tired of talking about it. Let's just do it. Who's stopping us? No one but us. We get in our mind and be like, oh my God, I don't got the money for this, and I don't got the money for that, and I don't know how I'm going to figure this. You're not supposed to know. That's the part of the unknown. That's the gift of the unknown. The challenge comes when you choose to trust in yourself. The challenge comes when you choose to be present, be obedient, so that you can show up, so that you can be impactful. And that's my message for today. Remember, to thine own self, always be true. Trust and know who you are. And I'm going to walk away with that. And peace, love. I'm going to say ashe to all my light beings and all my light bugs. I pray that spirit truly, honestly touches your heart, your mind, and your soul, and that this message really resonates and relays what needs to be relayed to you. And I know I jumped around. I've been working on trying not to jump around, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, peace.